Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back for another YgoPro duel video through Draco slash the Zoodiac Beasts as well. As you probably saw from past weekend, from the released OCG deck list, this deck is gaining ground, a lot of ground in the OCG, because it's so good. It's heavily control based, somewhat slowish, no OTK potential, not really, but it's super consistent and good, especially because it's somewhat anti-meta and it's not hindered by something like Dimensional Barrier, well, depending which version you run. Really not hindered by Maxi. Well, if you run the Zoodiac Beasts, you know, Dimensional Barrier, etc. Like Maxi also can somewhat hinder your deck, but outside of that, this is an excellent deck. A lot of floaters, the true Draco, well, yeah, the true Draco cards is where it's at. Most people don't really run the high level true king monsters. I do prefer them here, especially the wind one, the level 9 one, since it's like a second for the deck when destroyed by, for example, your field spell, MVP of this deck as well. But you're not heavily dependent on it, and that's something good. The water one, the water level 9 is only good as a one-off in the deck. I don't really recommend running more, but the huge powerhouse of the deck is Masterpiece. Masterpiece, you know, tribute summon to the field, and it's unaffected by the cards you tributed it for. And you know, the true Draco spells and traps let you tribute summon, at least, yeah, send them to the grave to tribute summon for these bigger guys. And these level 5s and level 6, you know, they trigger when your opponent activates a card effect, so they pretty much replenish themselves, and that's so ridiculously good. Baboon again in the deck to instantly go for something like Invoker and again replenish your hand. I still prefer Zoodiac Engine because of, yeah, I don't think I need to explain this. Baboon into Invoker, for example, and still Transia is very powerful. I'm also running the new Zoodiac Lyca, I believe how you pronounce it. The deck is currently sitting at 42 cards due to Dimensional Barrier, but again, feel free to adjust the ratios. But let's see a few example duels. Alright, I think I get to start. So the first game, 2 games against ABCs and then 2 games against Zoodiac Beasts. And this is an excellent opening hand. Baboon, immediately replenish your hand and then also have access to the field spell, and that's just completely the nuts, you know. Eventually I can go for Invoker, yeah, the standard Zoodiac combo, although a slight variation due to that new Lyca Zoodiac monster. So first, you know, overlay some Zoodiac monsters and then eventually go for Tigris as well, and then start up my engine. You know, Lyca, the new Zoodiac rank 4, does have the effect detach one card and then reborn a Zoodiac monster, but it doesn't have an effect, right? And it also cannot be used for an Exceed summon, but its purpose here in the deck is to give you an extra monster that can be tribute summoned by, for example, your Masterpiece. So again, my Masterpiece was tribute summoned by, I think, sending a spell card and a monster card from my field to the grave. So now it's unaffected by monster effects and spell effects. And yeah, the point of the deck is, first of all, priority number 1 is to get your Masterpiece on board, because you know it is like an Infernity Break effect, banish any true Draco spell or trap, or a continuous spell or trap from your grave, and then pop one card from your opponent. And on top of that, priority number 2 is to get your Knuckles or Heat, for example, on board, and then start plussing off every time, at least once per turn, your opponent activates any effect, either monster, spell or trap, and get Search, yeah, depending on which true Draco fighter you have on your side of the field. And then after that, it's just gaining more and more advantage. Anyway, going second this time, not really sure if you would, the deck definitely has an advantage going second, you know, already activating your true Draco spells or traps, send them to the grave, pop your opponent's back row with their Mystical Space Typhoon, with their Mystical Space Typhoon effect, and that's what happens here. Set a trap, and then use my normal summon to special summon Knuckles, sending the trap card from my field to the grave, use a trap card's effect. It's like Sanctum, popping one monster from the opponent, so immediately get rid of his ABC Dragon Buster, and also because I used Buster, I can use Knuckles effect, so immediately replenish itself and search a trap card. Activate it immediately on the field, that's also something disgusting. You can just immediately activate a trap card. Again, the same combination of the Zoodiac shenanigans thanks to my Lyca. Again, get some extra Tribute Father and the standard combo into Emerald. Emerald, again, so important here that you immediately replenish your Zoodiac engine. Somewhat lucky, drawing my, at least one of the continuous Zoodiac cards, so I can get an extra Tribute Summon here to go for my Masterpiece. Again, popping some cards from my opponent and just leave both Ace, I believe, on his side of the field. There is the Garnet, which they always draw. I'm not going to use Drancia's effect, just banish this monster as well. He goes for Castel, and reading does help, right? Trying to banish, at least send back my Masterpiece, but again, it's unaffected by monster effects. And now the trap card is banished, but doesn't really matter too much. Once per turn, I can just pop one of my cards, at least one of my opponent's cards, and then now I can just attack for a game. So again, very solid. Alright, and then the next game, I get to start, so play this against the Zoodiac Beasts this time, and I get to start again the field spell, destroying that level 9 wind monster, which is a Sangan, and then go for that Knuckles indeed. First of all, Knuckles, just in case if the opponent has something like a hand trap, Maxi for example, or the new one, the Ghost Ash, to prevent my Zoodiac triangle to go off, and then eventually I can possibly get a surge off of Knuckles, right? But if he didn't have Maxi, I would have had a very solid big field. But again, Maxi and Raigeki, you know, I believe it was in the first game of the video, Dark-Hole and or Raigeki do hinder, you know, you will lose your whole field, right? I can somewhat recover by tributing during my opponent's turn thanks to the escalation effect of my True King trap card, well, True Draco trap card, and then pop one monster from the opponent, so at least I should be able to survive, right, unless I'm missing something. And Heat again searches continuous spells, well, True Draco spells from my deck and potentially immediately activating them. I do survive here, but I think I'm left at 2,500-ish life points, I believe. But that's enough since I have my Masterpiece in hand and I still have a lot of plays ready for next turn. I draw another monster, not really the best draw here, but first of all activate a Pot of Avarice, effect to send back 3 cards, draw into Baobaboon, excellent. So try to use a field spell to possibly force out a Drancia, which he's going to use very good, so immediately get that Masterpiece on board and then pop his Markaba, I believe. And now I'm just free to go off. Again, the same combination. First special summon a few Zoodiac Beasts on top, and then eventually go for the Malmoret loop. Again, go for Emerald, very crucial. That's why I'm running double Emerald. Like, it's so crucial that you keep your Zoodiac engine ready and yeah, steady for next turn possibly. Reborn, one of the Zoodiac monsters as well. Not really any use for now, since I don't have anything to tribute summon during my opponent's turn, but again, an extra monster possibly for next turn. But I have both Drancia and Masterpiece on the field, so I can potentially pop 2 cards from my opponent. He does go for Markaba first. I'm going to use Drancia here, prevent my opponent to go for Drancia, and possibly lure out the Markaba, which is going to use now, so I can pop it with my own Masterpiece. Yeah, there is the Bullhorn, the Drancia, which isn't really a threat. Yeah, a bit sad that I can't, at least I wasn't able to tribute a monster for it. So Masterpiece is destroyed by a monster effect, but I can easily recover here thanks to the Water Draco Ruler, and yeah, thanks to that I can trigger my Baobaboon, get the 2 draws and just keep the monster in hand, since I can go for the Zoodiac engine. Dimensional Barrier would have been crappy here, on all honesty, but again, tribute summon for the True Draco monster that I believe prevents targeting, indeed. Well, unless itself, of course. Last example, the opponent gets a start, and we both have like a good hand. Again, he has a Maxi. He also has Emptiness, so he's like set. That's a very good opening hand on his part. I believe it's also, yeah, and then again, he's going to end with Markaba as well. So my opening hand, well, the strength of this deck is, you aren't really hindered by something like Emptiness, well, unless you're playing the Zoodiac engine, but it's still, the Zoodiac engine has more advantages than disadvantages. So again, use the trap cards to pop, I believe, the Markaba Succession first to get the 2 draws, since the trap card was sent to the grave, and a True Draco monster was sent from my field to the grave, so I can get 2 free draws and then just send it to the grave to pop the other phase face down to get rid of the emptiness and then start my Zoodiac engine. But again, he has Maxi, so that kind of blows. I do chain the trap card here, so I'm not going to give him extra draw for Maxi. Again, my thought process as well was, yeah, during the opponent's turn, if he activates any effect, I can search a trap card again and possibly tribute summon during my opponent's turn, which happens now, so I can go for Masterpiece again. I have a dimensional barrier to prevent my opponent from using the fusion summon, and Masterpiece can just, yeah, destroy any card from my opponent by banishing a continuous spell or traps, which I'm going to do now, and now I should be able to attack for a game, right? Another field spell. The fact that that True King trap is just once per turn, you can just special summon the level 9 for free and then use a field spell to, yeah, to destroy the level 9, get a Sangan Surge, you know. That's one of the biggest reasons why I still like the level 9s here in the deck. You can gain so much advantage out of those, especially if you have something like the field spell, and you can reborn them after that with a trap card just once per turn. This deck has so much potential. The deck does need work, maybe some more hand traps for example. Bringing the deck to a 40 cards main deck is definitely something I'm working on. But yeah, the fact that Cosmic Cyclone is becoming a staple just because of those yeah, the Draco cards. You know, Twin Twister doesn't really do anything against those true Draco cards, since they will just trigger, right? So Cosmic Cyclone definitely becoming an MVP really soon. Okay guys, that's it. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.